be a lot of police around when you don't need them. Tails, any news yet?
For some reason, I'm not getting a signal from the 6 remaining Chaos Emeralds. Maybe Eggman took the emeralds into outer space.
Outer space? Knuckles!
The red powerhouse and rival to the blue blur, Knuckles the Echidna. But not only is he Sonic's rival, Knuckles is also one of his best friends. Of course, he wasn't always that way. Knuckles for a long time lived a secluded life on the floating Angel Island, where he alone guarded the mysterious Master Emerald. That is until one day when a certain egg-shaped scientist came along and tricked him into thinking that Sonic was coming to steal this precious gem, only to turn around and steal it for himself, of course. Sonic helped him get it back though, and after some time and getting tricked by Eggman some more, the antisocial Knuckles finally began to warm up to those around him, and now he's one of Sonic's most trusted allies, always willing to help Sonic out on his adventures, even if it means leaving the Master Emerald unguarded. Oof. I hope he has a guard dog left there or something. Knuckles may not be the sharpest guy around, thanks in part to his ignorance of the world after living alone for so long, and it doesn't help that in the Sonic Boom franchise, he's written to be a flat-out idiot. But I don't make a big deal about that since that is a separate continuity, not to mention hilarious. But in the main series, which is the one I'm focusing on, he's a professional treasure hunter with a lot of knowledge of geography as well as martial arts, generally being a punch first, ask questions later kind of echidna. Though you probably would be too if you were strong enough to destroy boulders with a single punch. And that strength is what should be feared if you were to smash his way out of the assist trophy into the Smash roster. Knuckles would pretty much be the textbook definition of a glass cannon. He'd be really fast with attacks that would rack up damage about as quickly as the likes of Bowser or Ganondorf. But unlike those two, he'd be a very light character, generally not being able to take hits that well himself. He'd have 2 jumps and would be able to both wall jump and wall cling. In fact, when he wall clings, he'd be shown like he does whenever he climbs walls, though he wouldn't actually be able to climb walls in Smash, just jump off of them. Knuckles can have a 3-hit jab that mimics his most commonly used combo, so common in fact that he even uses it as an assist trophy, with the first 2 hits being a punch from each fist one at a time, and ending with an uppercut to send foes into the air for the 3rd hit. His dash attack can have him do a horizontal double punch straight forwards. This move is also used as his dash attack in Sonic Battle. His side tilt can also be from Battle, having Knuckles do up to 2 hits with consecutive button presses, with the first hit being a vertical hook from high to low, and then a vertical hook from low to high with the other fist for the 2nd hit. This tilt actually will move Knuckles forwards a little bit after each swing. The up tilt can be a quick overhead backwards to forwards headbutt, which was an attack that he used in the game Sonic the Fighters. For his down tilt, it can be an innovative move where he does a quick low to the ground punch. For Knuckles' side smash, he could use his powerful ground power skill from Sonic Battle, the Deep Impact. It's a straightforward punch, but he punches so hard that the air explodes around his fist at the apex of the punch. This is by far one of Knuckles' deadliest attacks, capable of KOing foes or even at lower damage percents. But of course, it does have some end lag. His up smash can be a double-fisted hammer swing from low to high, his Enrage skill from Sonic Battle. This up smash would really only be able to hit foes who are in front or above Knuckles. And his down smash can make reference to attacks that Knuckles uses that involves him punching the ground so hard that it hurts nearby foes or knocks them off balance. For Smash, he'll punch the ground and create a shockwave that extends outwards horizontally. The shockwave is what deals the big damage, of course, but it also may have a chance to trip foes if their damage percents were low enough to not get launched. His neutral air can be similar to Sonic's, where he curls up into a ball and spins erratically. While it is like Sonic's, it comes from Sonic Fighters, which is also where Sonic gets it from. His forward air can have Knuckles use the Meteor Punch, his pursuit skill from Battle. It's a double hammer punch from high to low, and as the name suggests, it can spike if it sweet spots. The back air can be a quick horizontal elbow jab backwards that he holds for a second. This comes from his backwards ramp attack from Sonic Advance 2. The up air can be a quick straight punch upwards. It has poor horizontal range, but it hits hard vertically. And his down air can be his air hook skill from Battle, where he does a quick punch diagonally downwards. It's not that great at hitting directly below him, but it does come out quick, and it's great for spiking foes if it connects properly. So really, this attack is comparable to that of Ryu and Ken's down air to give an apt comparison. Knuckles can grab with one hand and pummel by punching with his other hand. For his forward throw, he'll spin the foe in hand and then send them forwards, just like he does when he uses the Team Blast in Sonic Heroes or the Knuckles Sandwich in Sonic Chronicles. His back throw can have him use the Shadow Box attack from Sonic Fighters, where after he grabs the foe, he quickly zips behind them and then punches them to send them backwards. His up throw can have him just chuck the foe high into the air, just like he does to Ray in that Sonic Mania short. And his down throw can have him do a short jump with the foe in hand, and then dunk them into the ground as hard as he can, referencing his attack from Sonic Heroes where he spikes Sonic and Tails as projectile attacks. For Knuckles' neutral special, he could use his Rock Free Fall skill from Sonic Battle, where he pulls out a huge boulder and then chucks it forward at a slight angle as a projectile, which then crumbles if it hits the stage. It's large and it deals a lot of damage and knockback if it hits, but unsurprisingly, it's kinda slow and doesn't actually fly that far. That said, despite its speed, it can still be used as a nasty edge-guarding pressure tool, as it will only disappear if it hits the ground, another player, or goes off screen. It works like this even if used in the air, I should add. I know that there is an air version of this skill in Battle called the Meteor Crush, but I think for the gameplay of Smash, a move like that might be a little too overpowered. As for where he would pull the rock out of when he's in the air, I don't know, probably the same place where Sonic pulls the spring, Banjo the shock pad, Snake's his boxes or the ciphers, Diddy Kong his rocket barrel, King K. Rool's blunderbuss and propeller pack, Villager his everything. You know what? I think you guys get the idea. For the side special, it could have Knuckles do one of his most signature skills, gliding. Apparently, Knuckles is somehow able to trap wind under his dreadlocks, and this allows him to be able to glide forwards while slowly descending. And he'll do that just for Smash. You'll need to hold down the special button after activating the glide to keep it going, and will begin to drop as soon as the button is let go. While gliding, you'll fly pretty quickly while slowly descending, and it will deal small damage to any foe who makes contact with Knuckles' fists as he's gliding. You'll also be able to turn around while gliding. However, turning is rather sluggish, and you don't stop descending while you do so. Plus, you can't deal damage while turning, so this would be where you're at your most vulnerable. Also, if you were to glide straight into a wall, it would put Knuckles into an automatic wall cling state, just like with Lucario's Extreme Speed Up special. And finally, dropping out of the glide will not only not put you into free fall, but you'd actually be able to break into another glide if you'd so wish. This move overall makes Knuckles' horizontal recovery fantastic, plus it's great for some safe mix-ups with all of its options. But while his side special allows Knuckles for some great horizontal recovery, his vertical recovery is something to be desired. His up special can have him use his rising spinning uppercut attack, where Knuckles does a rising spinning uppercut. While his fists are on fire, it hits hard, especially at the start of the move, but it doesn't actually send him up that high. I made it like this as that does actually reflect Knuckles' general gameplay styles, as while he is fast and has great horizontal options, he usually has the worst jump compared to the other Sonic characters. He usually doesn't need to worry too much about this since he can't climb walls, but for Smash, he'll just be a fast character with a kinda weak jump. But while he's not great in the air, he loves the ground. In fact, he loves it so much, he also likes to burrow into it, and that can be his down special. While on the ground, using down special can have Knuckles dig straight into the ground, and any foe too close as he digs will be hit with some small damage. But if he's in the air, he'll use the drill dive attack and dive straight down while spinning like he does in Sonic Adventure 2. And he'll keep drilling until he touches a solid part of the stage, which will then lead to Knuckles burrowing under just like he does if he used it on the ground. If he digs or drills into a platform, however, he'll just pass through it and it cancels the attack. This, by the way, is the only way to cancel the drill aside from just burrowing, so if you try using it with no stage underneath you, you're gonna lose a stock. While drilling, foes that make contact will be dealt multiple flinching hits of damage while being dragged down with Knuckles, and will be launched a little bit once he begins to burrow. Now as for what Knuckles can do while underground, he has a couple of options. While burrowed, you'll be able to kind of slowly move left and right. You will be able to dig past foes or items without pushing them, but you will be stopped at ledges. He'll only be able to remain underground for about 3 seconds, after which Knuckles will automatically jump out of the ground with an uppercut, dealing only decent damage, but high knockback to any foe who was above him. This uppercut will also deal a lot of shield damage, capable of breaking shields early if the foe lets himself get hit too much. The uppercut also does have a bit of end lag, but you will be able to manually uppercut out of the ground sooner if you so wish by pressing the attack button while burrowed. Or, if you're afraid that you're going to be punished for sure, you can press the special button instead to just have Knuckles not attack and emerge from the ground normally, which has significantly less end lag to allow you to get away. Finally, you'll always know where Knuckles is based on pushed up dirt, and other players will actually be able to hit him out of the ground if they can hit the pushed up dirt with a lower attack. Not gonna lie, this is my favorite idea for a Final Smash that I've ever come up with. Knuckles can have a cinematic Final Smash that starts with a large punch, and any foe hit by said punch will be pulled in. The cinematic then starts with the caught foe landing in an ocean, leading the camera to pan out to show Angel Island floating above. It then shows Knuckles at the Master Emerald altar wiping his hands, implying that he just knocked the caught foes off of the island. But then almost immediately, it shows the Master Emerald being stolen, whether that's by Eggman, Rouge, or whoever, and before Knuckles even realizes what's going on, Angel Island begins to fall and lands right on top of the foes in the water below, dealing big damage and knockback to the caught foes when the cinematic ends. Aside from this idea being hilarious, it's just sadly fitting for Knuckles, and I honestly like it a lot more than Hyper Knuckles. For colors, Knuckles of course will be defaulted to his usual getup and red fur. His first ult can make him pink, in reference to Knuckles' super form, Hyper Knuckles. His second can give him green hues, in reference to the Master Emerald. Next can be blue hues, in reference to Sonic. Then yellow hues, in reference to Tails. Here's an orange color, in reference to Tikal, the ancient Echidna tribe princess. Next is dark brown, in reference to Pachacamac, the old Echidna chief and Tikal's father. And finally, here's a white color, in reference to the evil Imperator Ix, the evil Echidna tribe leader of the Dark Brotherhood from Sonic Chronicles. For his stage intro, it can just have Knuckles emerge from the ground and end on a pose. For taunts, Knuckles' first can have him cross his arms and chuckle. Despite the fact that his theme song says that unlike Sonic, he won't chuckle, this taunt is clearly a reference to his iconic gesture from his debut game, Sonic the Hedgehog 3. His next can have him get angry and hold a battle-ready pose while shouting, "I'll make you eat dirt!" And his final can have him start shadowboxing, then pose while saying,
"I will protect the Master Emerald."
And finally, for victory animations, his first can have Knuckles shadowbox, then give a thumbs up while saying,
"Yeah, I feel good."
As you can guess, Knuckles really likes to shadowbox, but the thumbs up references his victory pose after completing levels in Sonic 3 and Knuckles. His second can have him turn around, wipe off his leg, then look at the camera while doing a fist bump and say,
"Phew, that was pretty tough."
This references one of his victory animations in Sonic Advance 2. And finally, his last victory animation can have him just standing next to the Master Emerald with his hand on it, then just laid down next to it with his arms crossed to rest. No direct reference to anything, but it does emphasize how at the end of the day, Knuckles will always go back to continue his duties as the guardian of the Master Emerald. At least, I hope he does. Anyways, that does it for What If Knuckles the Echidna was in Smash. I failed to mention this prior, but Knuckles actually is my favorite Sonic character. And while I don't think he'd be the immediate next choice for another Sonic rep, that honor goes to one of these nerds, I'd be lying if I said that he wasn't the one that I was hoping for the most. Aside from Daisy, who we actually got, Knuckles was the other character that I was voting for during the Smash 4 fighter ballot, and I was pretty stoked to see him get a Mii Fighter costume. He may not get to be a fighter, just a costume, and is also currently an assist trophy, but I'm just happy to see him still get some cool representation. Anyways, if you liked what you saw and would like to see even more characters be given possible Smash movesets, be sure to subscribe. And if you'd like to support the show and help me be able to make more content for you guys while you also get some perks for doing so, you can click the join button either below my video or on my main page to become a sponsor for my channel. I'd really appreciate anything that can be contributed. And of course, if you have a character that you'd like to see be given a possible Smash moveset, leave a comment down below or contact me on Twitter at BrelFan1 on Twitch.
I hope you all enjoyed, and thank you so much for watching.